Hello friends, today I explain the 2014 drama and suspense movie, Call Girl in the Box. So let's begin. And please don't forget to subscribe.
At the beginning of the film, we first see a couple who are disposing of a corpse. The girl's name is Janice and the boy's name is Cameron. Cameron tells his wife not to panic, it was just an accident. Then after that, a beautiful young girl is shown, her name is Colleen. And she's on the road waiting for the lift. Then Cameron and Janice's car passes by, and Colin asks for a lift. And they both take her with them in the car. They all start talking to each other. Cameron asks Colleen why she's here and what she's done. Then Colleen explains that it's her friend's birthday. She has come to surprise him. Now Colleen makes a big mistake by saying surprise, because this lets Cameron know that Colleen's friend doesn't know she's coming to him. Now here's Cameron's decision to kidnap Colleen. Then the car stops at a gas station. Colleen gets out of the car to freshen up. But when she gets back in the car, she sees a box, but she ignores it. As their journey resumes, Cameron tells Colleen that there is a great view ahead, and you should go and see with us. Colleen also agrees to go with them without thinking. Now they take Colleen to a deserted place. And Cameron sees the opportunity and blindfolds her. And he puts her head in the box that was lying in the car, so that the Colleen could not see where they're going. And he takes her to his home and locks her in the basement. Now he hits the Colleen a lot, cries a lot, and Colleen asks him out loud that he's doing this to her, but Cameron does not respond to her, but just tortures her. And then closes the Colleen's mouth in the same box. Cameron's unjustified persecution of Colin makes it clear that he is insane and psycho. After Cameron leaves, his wife Janice comes to Colleen. Colleen requests him, "Let me get out of here." But Jeans don't help. Because if she help her, Cameron would not leave him. And then the next day Cameron brings some food and necessary things for the Colleen. And then beats the Colleen again a lot. Janice gets very annoyed by the screams of the Colleen. She hides the sound of her headphone. Then that night Janice tells her husband to promise me, "You won't do anything wrong with this girl." Now Cameron agrees because Janice was his wife and he didn't want to hurt her. Now Cameron puts Colleen in a large box and attaches an oxygen pipe to it so that the Colleen survives, and closes the box. The Colleen misses her father very much in this box because her father forbade the Colleen to go alone. And the Colleen didn't listen to him, and that's why she's stuck here today. On the other hand, the Colleen's family members were also very worried about it. They also report the disappearance of the Colleen to the police. And now 6 months have passed, but Cameron is still holding the Colleen captive. Janice now gives Cameron the good news that their baby is coming, and she tells Cameron that he should leave the Colleen now, because what effect will the Colleen have on the baby? Cameron then tells Janice that if I let her go, she would complain to the police and police get us caught. Now Cameron makes a plan and tells Colleen that he works for a prisoner-making company that buys and sells slaves, and now you're my slave, and now if you run away from here, the company will catch you, then the company will kill you and all your family members. And with this false story, he creates fear inside the Colleen, so that she does not dare to run away from here, and then he gives the Colleen a paper, and says that, if you sign it then the company will do you no harm, and company will not be able to reach you, and you will be comfortable with me. Being very scared, Colleen agrees with these statements, and even signs these papers. He now puts the strip in Colleen's neck, and it seems to keep him just like slaves. And he tells her that you have to call me master and Janice call ma'am. And she has to raise both her hands whenever he has called attention. And now Cameron takes home in a secluded place and a year has passed. And Janice gives birth to a baby girl. And Cameron also takes Colleen from the box, showing off his daughter, which makes Colleen very happy to see him, because she saw the baby a very long time ago. And so, time goes by and now 2 years gone. Now, Janice's daughter is getting bigger. Then we see Colleen serving food to everyone here. And when a knife falls out of her hand, she stands up her both hands, and then Cameron hits him hard. And now Jeans couldn't stand it anymore. There was nothing she could do for Colleen. And then the next day Colleen tells a story that a slave ran away from a nearby town. And he went to a policeman for help. But he was also our man, and then after that, the slave was captured and her hands, feet, and tongue were cut off. The Colleen is even more frightened after hearing all this. And Cameron was telling her all this because he wanted to take her out of the house, and he didn't want to tell anyone or run away whenever she went out. Here we see that Colleen became a little foolish for fear of Cameron's words. And everything seemed true to him. Now they both go to the place where Cameron used to cut wood. And after going there, Cameron shows Colleen 2 men and says they both work in the company, and don't call me master in front of them. Colleen agrees here. Now Colleen also feels good about getting out of the house, and she asks Cameron if I can ever go home. So Cameron says the company doesn't allow it. But I will still help you. So Colleen is very happy to hear this and begins to work enthusiastically. Cameron gets hurt at work, and it was an opportunity for Colleen to run away, but she believed the story of Cameron so much that she would not run away. The two then go home and Colleen strips Cameron. When Janice sees this, she gets very angry and she starts fighting with her husband. And so 4 years pass. Now that Janice and Cameron's daughter is growing up, Colleen sees him and asks Janice how long I've been here. In fact, Colleen doesn't even know how long she's been stuck here. And then one day, when Janice and Cameron walk out house, Colleen has scary dreams, and she gets very upset when she sees them, and starts hitting box hard. And when Cameron and Janice return home, they find Colleen's box broken, which makes it look like Colleen has run away. But when Cameron searches for her, she is found in the bathroom, with a holy book in her hand. She is very scared. Then Cameron brings her to his daughter, so that she can feel good. And time went on like this. Colleen does all the housework and lives well with them, because she knew she could never go home. And so 7 years pass. And one day Cameron tells him that the company has given permission and she can go home now. And if you really want to meet your family, prove that we can trust you. And he gives her a gun and tells her to shoot him in the mouth, and she presses trigger. There is no bullet in that gun. By doing so, Cameron is convinced that Colleen will not run away. He takes Colleen to her house, and her husband clarifies himself so that no one will doubt him. When Colleen meets her family, she becomes very sad and makes it clear that she is very happy and she does not tell anyone. After everyone has eaten, Colleen's sister shows her wedding photo, so Colleen's sister asks her when she will meet again, and Colleen says she doesn't know, to which Colleen's sister says, I think something went wrong with you, and you can tell me what happened to you. Colleen is about to tell her story. But then Cameron arrives and makes excuses and takes Colleen away. On the other hand, Janice fed up with Cameron and leaves Cameron with her daughter. This makes Cameron very sad. Colleen sees Cameron in pain and goes to him, but Cameron gets angry when he sees Colleen and says, don't be my wife, and he gets angry and locks her in a room. It also rains a lot of water. And on the other hand, we see Janice, who goes to church and cries a lot because she was so ashamed of her mistakes. She goes back to Colleen to correct her mistake and takes him up. She said, a few years ago, Cameron caught a girl, but she was making so much noise that Cameron killed her, and we buried her. And now I will not let that happen to you. Now she puts Colleen in her car and goes to a bus station and tells her to go to her house. When Colleen asks what would happen if the company catch me, Janice tells him that there is no such company. Cameron used to tell you all these things just to scare you, so that you never run away. And now Colleen gets on the bus and goes to her family. And she cries a lot to meet them. Cameron, on the other hand, is shown crying a lot because he no longer has Jeans or Colleen. In the end, Janice tells the police everything that leads to Cameron's arrest. The film is based on a true story in which a girl was imprisoned by a couple for 7 years. And here the movie ends.